Howdy, y'all. Rüdrani Devi, the Happiness Lady, coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee, my fabulous town that I love so much. Yeah. Why am I the Happiness Lady? Well, I wrote the book about it. Choosing happiness, an uncommon way to find joy in your life. And yeah, I actually learned these tools from Access Consciousness, and they're very uncommon ways, I would say. So, you know, if things aren't working for you in this reality, perhaps it's time to choose something different. Just saying. So, since I actually talk about this tool, do not listen to, tell, or buy the story, which is one of the 10 keys in Access Consciousness to Total Freedom, I'm just going to read a little bit from the book. And if you happen to have the book, you may read along. We're going to page 89. Ready for this? Here we go. Do not listen to, tell, or buy the story. That's chapter 12. Everyone loves a good storyteller, or do they? Of course, there's always the guy who can hold a room captivated with his outlandish, funny musings. And I'm going to ad lib here. And there's also the entertainer that everyone in the arena feels as though they are singing directly to them. That is something I experience as a singer-songwriter myself. When I'm performing, I'm being the energy of whatever's required for everyone there. And every song to me is like a story. So just my interesting point of view. We've talked about that already. Everyone likes that guy. And if they throw a party, they make sure he's invited for added entertainment. What about those people that when we see them coming, we want to run the other way? Oh, shit. I didn't know there were going to be this party. Now what, right? Think of Saturday Night Live's Debbie Downer. I hope some of you are old enough to know about that. If not, Google it, please. Okay. Oh, wait. She was entertaining and funny, too. At least, it was a character that was reoccurring. So I imagine it got a lot of replays on the YouTube. I'm talking about those people who are constantly the object of everything. Some of those people are the same ones who wanted to know what I was so happy about. Bitch. Okay, I added the bitch for emphasis. So let's get into this further with this next Access Consciousness tool. Do not listen to, tell, or buy the story. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so what if stories were justifications for the interesting points of view you made about something to prove you were right? Now in quotes. Because this happened, I had to do this. I had no other choice. Really? The shizzle? Stories are justifications for the limitations people are choosing as though they had no other choice. So, what if the story was just the story? It's not reality. It's not the truth. Have you ever thought to ask, hey, is this freaking true for me? What if it didn't really mean anything? What if it had no relevance? What if it makes no difference to what your life and living would be in 5 years? I mean, think about it. So, or don't think about it. Let it go. Get your mind out of it. Is it really important to tell the story? And does anybody really care? And if they do, well, that's a whole nother live. So table that for another time and another tool. So what if the story is how you justify the limitations of your life and your reality? So I have a close family friend that maintains her story so that she can maintain her victimhood. It's almost like a contest for some people. Have you noticed? I remember, digressing for a moment, I remember being in a Pilates class once where somebody was complaining about the commercial where the woman was bought a truck for her and for her husband, and she wanted the red one. He wanted the red one. She said, no, that one's for me, and da da da. And then the same truck company did one where he gets her a truck or something or a car and has a big bow on it. And they were all like complaining that this guy would, girl and guy. So at first the girl would just choose the trucks without asking, without finding out what color and the wrongness of all of that. And then the second one was more about he gives her this car with a big bow and she has no choice in the matter. And I'm like, dudes, I wouldn't complain if somebody wanted to give me a fresh truck. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I am going to receive, 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 receive. The story doesn't matter to me. It doesn't limit me if someone wants to gift me something. And it doesn't limit me if I want to gift it to them, because, and that's a whole nother call. But it's that whole thing about receiving again. You know, sometimes when you're gifting, you're actually receiving more than the gifting aspect of it because it makes you feel so good. And when they really receive it, hot diggity dang, it's good. Yeah, I'm moving right along here. So I'm going to back up slightly so you remember where we were because we was talking about victimhood. I have a close family friend that maintains her story so that she can maintain her victimhood. Okay. It allows her to justify the choices that she made rather than acknowledge that she actually chose it to begin with. It was the holidays, y'all. I believe it was 2018 or 2019, somewhere along in that time frame. And there were several friends mingling after singing carols and having holiday punch. And an angel got its wings. I was within earshot of her story about how she had made less money that year than she had paid in taxes. She was adamant about it, y'all. I mean, she want everybody in the room to know about this. I heard all the reasons why this happened, because of this and because of that. It was as if she didn't want to choose her life. Or she didn't want to choose to live her life is actually what I wrote here. She would rather choose all the reasons and justifications of why she couldn't. She went from being to being, meaning person to person. I know I should have probably changed that in the book because that sounds very new age. Telling her story to anyone that would listen until it was my turn. Yeah, she cornered me, y'all. I wanted to run and hide, but I didn't get away fast enough. Okay, little break. This is watermelon cucumber shake. Well, fresh watermelon and cucumber with ice, and it's so tasty. I would highly recommend it. Because watermelon's a little sweet, and then you put the cucumber in there, it just cuts it really nicely with the ice cubes. And can you see the foam on the top there? I don't know. I'm trying to get it to you. It actually looks pretty nasty, but it's really tasty. I like it. I recommend it highly. Celeste doesn't like cucumber. That's my mama. So I forgot. And so the batch I made, I'm going to have to drink all by my own self. So it was my turn. I heard about it all. I said after she started, evidently, it's your new mantra. Yeah, I was an asshole. That's what I said. Your new mantra. I mean, I'm more interested in consciousness now than I was in perhaps. And, I'm a firecracker. So that's what I said. Now, why would I want to wedgie a family friend? Because, you say something like that and they're like, like a dog, that kind of tilts its head because it doesn't understand what's going on. I wasn't working and she wasn't paying me for my awareness. Because here's the thing. I'm trying to facilitate her. She's not asking me and not paying me, and I'm doing it anyway, which is just stupid. Don't do it. When people don't want your opinion, don't give it to them. Unless they ask. And then you got to ask, is this going to create greater, right? Remember, we're talking about do not listen to, tell, or buy the story, just in case you got sidetracked, okay? So maybe I thought it would be funny. Yeah, I did think it would be funny because I like to entertain myself. Sometimes people are very boring to me. It did put a funny look on her face, that dog face I was talking about. Well, it's what happened, she said, justifying her point of view again, right? Okay, cool. And I let it lie. I didn't want to get into it. as I wasn't sure she could receive it. Because now I'm talking about that piece where, you impale something on somebody. And what if they didn't ask, right? And after all, it was just my awareness. It didn't really mean anything. Is it going to change my life at all to say something and she's not even asking? I suppose it sounded like a judgment to her as, after screwing up her face a few times, she asked, "What do you mean by that?" This is my brilliant answer. Well, I'm joking about the mantra thing. Joking, not joking. Okay. I was backpedaling now, sussing out the energy of it to see where I could go with it, or even if I should. So, I'm starting to feel her heaviness because she thinks I'm judging her. And, it was judgment light, but it was also an awareness. I could see where she was going with this. And, to me, why would you want to buy that story and share it with others? So let me go on. She says, "It's not funny. It's what happened." She looked at me blankly. "Help me understand." I know that trap. "Help me understand why you said that." And I was like, oh, shit. I studied her face. Was she getting ready to attempt to gaslight me? Or did I note a spark of awareness in those eyes? It felt light. So I proceeded. "Well," I cautioningly began. Bum, bum, bum. "Did you ever consider that sharing your private, perhaps not so pleasant matters with everyone might be uncomfortable for them? Like Debbie Downer." I paused for a dramatic effort. Well, I don't know why I paused. And now I just wrote that. "And now that they know, would it be possible that they might create more of the same reality for you? If you persist with the same story, you get them to buy your story of lack as true for you. And that's going to be their perceived continued point of view of who you are. Do you really want them to perceive you as struggling, as suffering, as being less than, as not being able to live your life fully? All the things. I mean, some people actually, I don't know if you've noticed, it's like a competition. You think that's bad? Let me tell you about what this thing that happened to me, right? She didn't say a word, but she was captivated. I mean, she was honestly curious. Like, huh? So it's actually a light for me to keep on reading, so I'm going to keep on reading. I haven't read this chapter since probably the rewrite of this book. So I do book clubs with this book, but I don't remember reading this in quite a while. So I say Sanskrit mantras are usually positive statements that one wishes to achieve. It's of my opinion that you probably don't want to create making less than you paid in taxes ever again. So why would you want to repeat this sad story like a mantra? To anyone and everyone who will listen. Her eyes shifted a second. Bum, bum, bum. And I could sense that she was actually contemplating a possibility. Even if it was fleeting, y'all. I didn't realize I was doing that. "Well, no judgment here," is what I said. "It's just my awareness. Maybe changing that for you would be to not buy your own story about it, so you could possibly create something different." Okay, so now she's on the struggle bus, and she goes, "But it's what happened." I'll never forget because I was so dramatic about it. It was like, oh, I lost her. "I get it," I answered, "but what if you could create something different next time? Not get stuck in the because of the story." We call that a beyond. You can't get beyond something. Like when you get a bill, it's much higher than you thought it was going to be. "It's just a choice you can choose differently next time." Her mouth didn't move, but her eyes were inquisitive. "You'd be surprised how quickly the simple question of what else is possible here can turn things around," I said. We chatted for a while longer, and then the party broke up and we said our farewells. Several years later, I understand that things have indeed turned around for her with her work situation. Isn't that nice? And she even bought a second home, renting the first one out as a segmented apartments. How does it get any better than this? We've already done that to y'all. So I'm not going to keep reading because, maybe I'd like for you to buy this book and read it on your own time. But basically, Here's the thing about it. When you place significance on something that happened in your life, and you have to have the whole world align and agree or resist and react, I mean, are they even interested in the story? Unless they also love trauma drama. I mean, I will listen to, tell, or buy a story if it's going to create, and I don't really buy it. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I wish things could have been different. Oh, that's terrible, blah, 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 blah. But the whole thing is I know that I co-create every aspect of what goes on in my life. And anything that I did in the past that got me to here, I don't give it, you know, what? I'm grateful for my life. I mean, if I wasn't me, I'd be jealous of my life, to be honest. I mean, I love my creations. I love that I'm willing to be all of me. I love, it's so funny I'm using the word love because love is such a funny word for me because I know everybody has a different point of view about the word love. Love is a distractor implant. That'll be another call. We definitely should have a conversation about that one. But here's the thing, y'all. Everything that has happened in my life has gotten me to where I am now. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And what if there was no good or bad, right or wrong, pretty, ugly, it's all judgments. It's all judgments. Judgments kill. I'm going to tell you right now. And it's like every point of view we have is a judgment. And a point of view about your story is going to solidify it in your world. So why would you want to tell it, buy it, sell it, all the things? So here's your home play. Should you choose it? What if you could look at your world, your life, everything you've created as an interesting point of view and not have to share it with the world? Okay? Like a interesting point of view. I have that point of view just for me, just for fun. Don't tell anyone. Your story is your story, but here's the cool part. Your past isn't even real. It's in the past. You can create beyond it. So why do you want to live in past reference points? The shizzle. Why would you want to? So consider that. And next time you find yourself wanting to tell a story, wanting someone to align and agree with what you got going on, time out and ask, is this relevant to me? Is this actually creating my life or limiting my life? Are these past reference points stopping me from creating beyond what I thought was possible? And see if it works for you. That's all I got for now, y'all. So if you like this little tidbit, subscribe. Maybe share with somebody you know would definitely benefit from my little conversation to any one of you listening now or in the future. And, until next time, y'all, the Happiness Lady is signing off. Ciao, ciao.